life, the final frontier. But it is though, isn't it? Kind of sucks because our lives are fragile. There's really nothing that we can guarantee we'll be here today or the next day or even the next breath. I mean, I'm assuming that I'm going to finish this video, but who knows? I could be struck dead. Which, I mean, I really pray that I don't, but... Oh. They're like grains. It's like sand in our hands. The harder we try to hold on to it, the more that it fleets. It's fleeting. And it's ironic because the more we want to think about it, the more we invest, the more we waste on it. And I guess there's moments to kind of think back upon it. But I like to read a couple verses that speak about this. One is in Job 7:6. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and come to an end without hope. I mean, I agree with that second part. I don't really know what a weaver's shuttle is, but I'm going to take its word for it. In light of how volatile we are, I'd like to read some facts from things I ripped off from bigthink.com. One of it is, on average, we have about 25,915 moments, or days, sorry, not moments. On average, 0.69% of our lives is spent exercising, 41% electronic devices, about a third sitting down, 6.8 socializing, 0.45 having sex, which is something that I'm not really worried about right now. But yeah, so let's elaborate on that exciting 6.8. Today I'm going to talk about the anxiety of relationships and the bane of our existence, which is human connection. Is that really a bane? If there ever was a World Cup for the world's most Caucasian sport, bowling would be the Brazil to the soccer or the football. I think one of the biggest things we kind of struggle with as human beings is actually going forth and putting the effort to build and establish the relationships we want in life. I think we're really not chasing any big thing, but we're chasing relationships to help us feel fulfilled or validated. You know, so we go and pursue these things that we really don't need. This is my crew.
Ernie,
Oh, you have to curve.
I want finesse and beauty, Ernie. That's all I want. Pretend you're Rembrandt, and this is your art.
It sucked because at that moment I didn't remember what period or what Rembrandt specialized in. I just remember that he had a pretty solid toothpaste line. I think one of the biggest things that just killed my relationships are just setting high expectations of people that you don't know. You know, we kind of see these small instances of a person's personality, and then we just think, we just assume so much, and then when our expectations don't come to fruition and they just fall through, it sucks, and then we wonder either if we have bad chemistry or we just don't get along, which I think is far from the truth. For instance, this is one of my friends. If I expected her to be Gal Gadot or Scarlett Johansson, it's going to be a horrible time. But getting to know her, I've always appreciated that she's there because it's always just fun to have her around. We were discussing the religious intricacies of custard versus ice cream.
Hey.
Say something inspirational.
Inspirational? I have nothing right now.
You gotta say something. Like some kind of basic mocha latte quote that you saw on Instagram.
I got nothing.
Alright.
If my friends expected me to be funny, they would have a bad experience. And I was going to say basic white girl, but it's too SJW and not politically correct. But if I expected this young lady to be a bowling bully or bullpen shark, then my experience would have been gravy.
Nice!
Another expectation I had that night was to literally kill it. But if you were an EMT on the scene, you would definitely, sense a pulse. No question. No question at all. I think the takeaways from this is you kind of define what it means to really build connections with people, and what does it mean to have an extravagant experience or interaction. Most people, they kind of have these assumptions that things are just going to come out the woodwork, but you kind of got to set what it means to build friendships and what it means to pursue them. Because an extravagant friendship on one end doesn't really look the same on the other. So for me, my connections would be to really know people on an intimate level, or kind of know what they struggle with, or what they want to pursue out of life. I think that's the beauty of communication and connection. We spend so much time on elaborate reputations, or just trying to build this facade that we could advertise or solicit to people. But there's just so much energy in doing that you're just gonna get exhausted and burn yourself out. When sometimes it's just easier just to, from the get-go, just to really express who you are. Back to that mental note about 25,000 days. I mean, do you really want to look back on those days and be like, man, I should have said this, or I should have really expressed myself? And the thing is, like, if you don't express yourself, you're gonna spend a lot of time trying to make up for lost time and trying to readjust your image, when in reality it's just better just to let go and truly say how you feel. Just let it out, right? You would do so much more for yourself and for the people around you.
Bernie, what's your take on this?
They can just do it outside. I know. I shouldn't even know.
Or you just bring it out.
Just bring it out. That's a hot shot. Is that a freebie?
Sure.
I think one of our biggest fears is when we come out and try to really show who we are, is people going to really see who we are and might not value us the way we are. If you want real relationships, you gotta be real. You gotta be authentic. You can't be afraid to be vulnerable. And honestly, vulnerability is displaying your strongest and your weakest traits. Something that is really part of you. I used to work in a pawn shop, and one of the biggest things is people were always afraid of testing their gold. And this is deep, but that gold was a reflection of their inner self. Not really, though. Because sometimes the gold was fake. Plot twist, maybe that gold was who they really were.
Not bad.
Oh, they're fan favorites. I'm gonna take a look at those.
I'm either gonna get. I think I have a plan.
You got a plan?
I have a plan. I even have a backup plan, so this is good. I feel like we're in good shape.
Yeah, I was just saying that.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's cash.
Bernie, I love your chin because it's always in my shots.
Yeah.
True story though, he got the cauliflower ear because he wrestled a bear and some Kodiaks trying to save a little girl in the Appanoose Mountains. I was there. I think in closing, I just want to talk about, like, just, you won't really live life until you actually express yourself. Because you'll look back at your memories and you'll think, man, I wish I could have been more of this and more of that. Right? And imagine the situations if you would have actually, you know, voiced your heart, or voiced your thoughts or your opinions. And maybe people would have saw a glimpse of beauty or inspiration inside your soul and be like, man, that's something I want to be a part of. Think about all the relationships you've had, or friendships, or moments that were almost kind of glimmers of some really cool stuff, some really meaningful experiences, but you just fell short. And maybe you fell short because you had this emotion that just kept you from really, you know, voicing what you really felt. I guess one of the exercises I could talk about is just write down a list of things that you regret, right? And try to write down why you regret it, and how you could have changed it, or how you could have prevented it by acting differently. For me, it was not really expressing who I was, but expressing who I wanted people to think I was. And at some point I just started saying, hey, this is who I am. I love who I am. I love what I do. And those who want my friends, awesome. Those that don't, you know, I Godspeed, and I pray that, you know, things just go your way in the future.
I think everyone loves chocolate. I don't care. Smile.
Hi.
There you go.